Good evening, everyone. Good evening. I'm trying to get the energy up. I know I'm in the graveyard slot of the day, so I appreciate you guys coming along. I am the last speaker on the stage before you and get some nice sun and some drinks outside. But yeah, I'm really excited to share with you today a little bit of what we've been working on at Diageo within the AI sphere. I'm sure we've all heard and seen a lot of talks and a lot of case studies recently about where AI and how it's changing the world. And I want to inspire you guys to take some stuff away today to think about how you might be able to use it a little bit more within your business and with your startups. So yeah, my name's Will Harvey. I'm Senior Global Innovation Manager at Diageo. That's a mouthful. And if you do know Diageo or don't know Diageo, you probably know many of our brands. You may know or enjoy many of our products from the likes of Guinness, Smirnoff, Don Julio, and even Bailey's. I'm really lucky today to come and share with you a little bit about what we're doing within the breakthrough team at Diageo. I've been a massive supporter of Madfest for a number of years. I think what the guys are doing here and the support you guys are doing coming along to this is incredibly important to share our learnings out there and where we can be able to disrupt the industry from within. So in the theme of be less boring, it couldn't resonate anymore with me. It's something in my DNA and something that in our DNA of breakthrough innovation. So I wanted to share with you a little bit about what we do within breakthrough innovation at Diageo, a little case study video, but then also something for you guys to then take away off the back of this. Breakthrough innovation, if you've not heard of us at Diageo, we work within Diageo. We're not doing innovation in the bottle, we're doing innovation around the bottle. So we are the fundamental change within the organization to really future-proof ourselves in this next digital era to think about how we can really pioneer our brands in the future of celebrating life every day, everywhere. You enjoy many of our products, whether it's an alcoholic or non-alcoholic products, but socializing is incredibly important and it's evolving all the time. Part of the DNA in breakthrough innovation is really about this idea of thinking about platforms, not projects. So it's not just about the nice shiny new can innovation and winning the award and then finishing for the day. It's thinking about how you can build something that's repeatable, reusable, and something you can scale across an organization. And I think that the mantra of platform over projects is becoming more and more important in the very difficult economic times that we are in today. You may know we work a lot in culture. There's been a lot of talk about culture and collaborations. We work with the likes of Game of Thrones to do limited editions. We work with the lovely Stanley Tucci to teach how to make some amazing Tanqueray cocktails, as well as we have great sponsorships and partnerships with the likes of Guinness and Six Nations. But these things and these collaborations sometimes can take a long time. They can take months, years sometimes, to really allow us to play in culture in these ways. And with the speed of culture changing, we needed to think about how we could do things differently in these collaborations. Something we try to do whenever we're doing a project within breakthrough innovation isn't just about doing tech for tech's sake, but really starting with a consumer insight and a problem. I know many of you have probably heard this before, but it's incredibly crucial, and a lot of people forget about this. So we wanted to share a little bit about what we noticed and what we wanted to do to be able to combat and get involved with this space. We know that micro-communities is a big talking subject. Rory Sutherland's done a lot of talking about communities in this area at the moment. And we're seeing with the shifting of media and the social landscape, it's even more important to brands to speak authentically and be involved with these communities, but not broadcast at them. Let them feel part of the communication. Let them feel part of the community. Let them feel part of the brand. So we wanted to look at how we could play in the new community spaces, these micro-communities, whether it's surfing vibe or skating culture or space lovers. How do you get and involve with these micro-communities in an authentic way? So with the AI kind of boom, we kind of played around with this thought for a while, which was looking at how we could create a co-creation platform that would allow a consumer to create a one-of-a-kind piece of design and artwork that we could print directly onto our products. So whether you've got a love for a certain creative or an artistic style, or a passion point of a tribal community, how do we allow these communities to be able to create artwork and create one-of-a-kind pieces of design with a few simple consumer prompts that's trained on the brand world and these community passion points? So we created a project called Halo. Halo's been going for about 2 years now, and what it is it's about how can we transform our bottles and our products into a one-of-a-kind masterpiece that allows everyone to create a gift that is as unique as who they are. So what we wanted to do is how we could use generative AI, and it took a lot of testing and learning and a lot of experimenting, and it's incredibly important in these times to test, learn, fail, and learn from that to be able to evolve and think about where you can go next. So we experimented with some of our brands, looking at how we might be able to train it on the likes of Seedlip, or looking at Don Papa or Johnnie Walker, to really allow and understand this next evolution of design and next evolution of visual AI generation tools that we could be able to create one-of-a-kind artworks in an authentic and a responsible way. Rather than me explain all of it, I'm going to show a short little video of how we did it, and I'm going to give you a bit of a peek behind the curtain of ways that you can think about using this new era of AI tools, not just as a back-of-house use, but for actually building new consumer propositions. And I think this is a massive untapped potential right now about how we can use AI, not just for automation, but use it for generating new propositions that you can offer to your consumers.
The best art is a perfect blend of inspirations. And just this once, we're going to share how we did it. Take Johnnie Walker's world-class Blue Label whiskey, mix in Scott Naismith's iconic landscape paintings, and purpose-build an AI engine to seamlessly blend in the key ingredient: you. These are the components of a Blend of Artistry, a premium personalisation experience unlike any other. Launched this summer at the home of Johnnie Walker, Princes Street in Edinburgh. We meticulously trained our AI model on distinctive aspects of Scott's paintings, from his use of colour to level of abstraction. In store, customers were invited to lean into their own artistic instincts, enjoying a seamless experience while their answers fed unique prompts to our AI engine in the background. The result? High fidelity, totally original artworks generated in seconds. The artworks were then laser printed directly onto the bottle in store, using the latest high-definition, high-speed digital object printing that ensures the high-resolution image lasts for a lifetime. This is how you create a never-to-be-replicated keepsake. The experience was a sellout success, and the results are well worth the toast.
So we launched this at Johnnie Walker Princes Street last August. If any of you have been up there, it's a fantastic space. It's the home of Johnnie Walker. It's our brand home. And it gave us an opportunity to have a sandbox space that we could test and learn, working very closely with Scott Naismith to be able to train our generative engine and allowing consumers to create one-of-a-kind pieces of art that were printed directly on the bottle. We worked very closely with Scott, so here are an example of some of the artworks that were actually generated by the engine. So we took 30 to 60 of Scott's artworks. We then trained the generative engine to be able to recognize the style of landscapes that he does. He does a lot of fantastic oil painting of Scotland and the Highlands, and you can really see his style coming throughout these generative images that we were creating live using AWS Bedrock system. And we work very closely with Scott because I think it's incredibly important to be authentic and work with those artists during this journey. It's not just that licensing deal of just getting Scott's artwork and say, see you later. I think it's important to be able to work with these creators to help them find a new platform for them to look at new revenue streams for themselves. You may also notice that there's about 20% Johnnie Walker Blue color reference. We trained it on the brand world, and we trained it on Scott's style. So 80% was Scott's style, and 80% was Scott, 20% was Johnnie Walker Blue. So it wasn't in your face. It wasn't like we're slapping a Johnnie Walker Blue logo over everything. There was a subtlety to making sure that the brand world came through on it, but it wasn't overpowering the artist and the collaboration of Scott and his fantastic style. This is a bit of a peek behind the curtain, the formula of how we did it. But basically, we wanted to really understand the idea of consumer motivation, whether it's cultural drops, so artist collaborations, or it's like always-on gifting, things like Christmas. Then training it on a brand house style, so the different iterations of Johnnie Walker's brand world. And then creating pieces of artwork that we then would allow a consumer to add a final little personal note, like a watermark, a little message or a date. And that really helped people feel connection to those individual products like never before. And we really see this as a huge opportunity to unlock the next generation of gifting and co-creation between brands and consumers in an authentic way. As I mentioned, it was a lovely shot of me and Scott. We had a great collaboration with Scott. He worked with us throughout the entire development process. He worked with us to make sure that we were keeping true to his style of art, and we wanted to be able to really have him as a partner in this journey, not just as a contractor or as a vendor to give us his style. And we also then worked very closely with Amazon. So we worked with Amazon on their Bedrock system that had only just launched, Amazon Bedrock, the Titan model, where we were using their AI engine to protect Scott's artwork. So all of the artwork that was given to us by Scott, we held that in a very controlled environment and didn't go back out into any other large language models out there to make sure that we stayed true to his work and protected his IP. Because that's going to become an incredibly important space going forwards with artists and these engines that are out there. And the last one was really looking at how we can collaborate with different partners. This was only made possible through a collaboration of R&D, breakthrough innovation, our development agency, AWS, printer manufacturers, hardware manufacturers. We worked with these partners and took this on the journey. It wasn't a hand-holding process. We were all around the table doing this together. And the reason why that's important is because they then feel invested. They feel passionate about it. And whatever challenges hit us, they felt part of it. It wasn't the usual client and agency relationship. It was a true co-creation in working on building a product like this. It's all good doing innovation and tech for tech's sake, but we really wanted to make sure that whatever we did, we learned from, to be able to make sure the platform we built for the future is something that we can be able to show the tangibility, because in the end, you've got to show to the C-suite what you can potentially do and the value behind it. Here are 4 principles that we use in these kind of new era of understanding how these new generative tools and these new innovations can be valuable to a corporate. It's a bit of a translation, really looking at the idea of the desirability. Do people want something like this? The feasibility, is this possible? Is the technology scalable? The viability, can we actually make money from it? And then the sustainability element of it as well is incredibly important in these challenging times. We have a responsibility to look at these new engines. There's a lot of talk at the moment about the energy that's being used up by these new engines right now. And for us, we worked very closely with AWS to make sure that everything was carbon offset of all the artwork that was generated. We weren't actually using energy, we were using sustainable energy for this. For me, I've been at Diageo 6 years now, previously agency side. And for me, I think there's a really interesting area that we're seeing right now of finding your right blend. What's the blend for you? Is it about understanding the brand equity driver? Is it about PR and hype and excitement? Or is it about revenue generating and making money? And I think this is a sliding scale. Everybody's different, every project's different, every platform's different. But you can find a balance between the two of them. It's not one or the other. Sometimes a project will be more about the hype and the excitement and getting awareness. And then sometimes it's about actually thinking about how you commercialize it and how you can scale it. I'm going to give you a little preview behind what we're working on next. So we've just launched in Miami our third iteration of this, where we're looking at different ways that we can be able to use consumer prompts as input methods to create even more personal designs and artwork, where we may not be working with an artist like Scott. So for example, we've been working with relationships. We looked at the relationship between kids and their fathers, not in like a therapy way, but basically the idea of the relationship you have with your dad. And for Father's Day, we launched this pilot in Miami where you could create one-of-a-kind pieces of artwork that was based off of passion points that your father had. You then created it, printed it, and you gave it to him for Father's Day. We're looking at the next area of passion points, so surfing culture, areas that you really have love and affiliation towards, that you can really look at how we can be able to tap into those micro communities. And then location. Location's a really interesting one. We're working very closely with our next iteration on Johnnie Walker Black, where we're launching a Dubai edition, which every single artwork is uniquely a different skyline of Dubai. So this is the next iteration. We're doing 50,000 bottles of this, so you can be able to get your own one-of-a-kind skyline. So we used to do Cities Edition, one edition, same design around the world. What if we could make the Madfest edition? What if we could make the Hackney edition? This is a really interesting way for us to tap into the idea of people's relationship with their spaces and how they could be able to create something that really is a memento of that moment and that place. So I've gone through that very quickly because I'm aware it's quite warm and I appreciate everyone coming along for the final slot of the day, but I really believe passionately in these kind of 3 areas that you should really embrace, and it's something that we have in our DNA and we want to collaborate with as many partners as possible. But the importance of test and learn. In these difficult economic times, it's easy to write off innovation. It's easy to write off test and learn and doing the same stuff over and over again. But the value you get from test and learn will be the next new revenue driver. Even if you fail, the failures lead to learnings for your successes in the future. you need to surround yourself with partners and create a village of collaborators that are as passionate as you are to really drive these projects through. Even more these days, it's incredibly difficult to get budget, get time, get people to work together, and I think this is really important to find a right village of collaborators. And then the one we always talk about, but the idea of platforms, not projects. Can you build something that's repeatable? What can we learn from this that we can use again? In this time where it's costing a lot of money to use lots of these new engines and any new innovation is very expensive, how repeatable is what you're trialing and how scalable is it across different brands or different parts of your portfolio in your organizations? So that was a whistle stop from me. Happy to take any questions, happy to have a chat after. Connect up on LinkedIn, come and have a chat with me after, I'm more than happy to. I was going to bring a bottle with me, but my boss borrowed it, so I would have shown you and you could have all had seen, but watch out, there'll be some more launches of this coming soon. If any of you are going to Johnnie Walker Princes Street, we're going to be doing a massive launch over the OND period. I can give you a discount code for the tour. But yeah, thank you again for coming along, I really appreciate it, and if you've got any other questions or want to learn a little bit more about how we did this, come and have a chat. Thank you.